President Donald Trump marking 100 days in office today. Trump is only the second president to serve non-consecutive terms. Now, during his campaign, he attacked his predecessor, Joe Biden, on his handling of the economy. Trump promised to boost growth and lower inflation and to do it in record time. But his focus so far has been on tariffs, with on-again, off-again approach that's led to uncertainty in the markets and uncertainty on Main Street as well. Today, President Trump heads to Warren, Michigan, where he is staging a rally, his biggest since taking office. And in his state, he flipped from blue to red in the 2024 election. And today, the president is expected to give U.S. auto manufacturers a break by announcing an easing of tariffs on imported car parts and vehicles. But as he celebrates his 100-day milestone, take a look at this. Polling showing Americans are worried. Check this out. This new CBS News poll shows that more than 60% of Americans think that the president is focused too much on lowering tariffs and not enough on lowering prices. Just look at the numbers right there. And a 53% majority think the U.S. economy is getting worse, not getting better. 28% saying it's getting better, less than 20% saying it's staying the same. Now, the White House focusing its messaging today on the economy and those auto tariff rollbacks. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent had this to say on what is driving the president's move.
He's committed to bringing back auto production to the U.S. So we want to give the automakers a path to do that quickly, efficiently, and create as many jobs as possible.
All right, let's turn now to CBS News correspondent Natalie Brand outside the White House for us. Natalie, great to see you. What else is the White House revealing about this latest tariff shift?
Well, it's good to be with you. Well, the White House says the president is expected to sign this new executive order later today, potentially before he heads to Michigan, which is an automotive hub. So no coincidence there. But from what we've learned, based on Weijia Jiang's reporting, the auto industry would not be subject to those 25% tariffs on steel and aluminum, obviously key materials for automobiles and auto parts. The 25% tariff on foreign auto imports would still remain in place. And when it comes to auto parts, we're learning that those two would not be subject to kind of the stacked tariffs of, steel and aluminum, as well as fentanyl tariffs or tariffs on particular trading partners when you think of all the parts that come from places like Canada and Mexico. These are moves aimed to ease the impact of these tariffs on the auto industry. And the big three automakers have all put out statements really welcoming this news, saying that they are grateful for the president's move. Let me read a part of a statement from GM saying, "We're grateful to President Trump for his support of the U.S. automotive industry and the millions of Americans who depend on us. We believe the president's leadership is helping level the playing field for companies like GM and allowing us to invest even more in the U.S. economy." You heard the Treasury Secretary during the press briefing earlier reiterate that really the goal of the administration remains to reshore, bring back more manufacturing, including auto manufacturing, to the U.S., Liz.
And Natalie, at that same press briefing, we also heard Secretary Bessent say more trade deals are in the works with key trading partners. What else did he reveal?
Yeah, he said that they're really focusing on 18 key trading relationships in the next couple of weeks. When he was asked, the timeline of when we could see the first deal, he didn't really reveal that today. Yesterday, he had said maybe in the next week or so, and he noted that the U.S. is particularly close to reaching a deal with India. That is where the vice president traveled to last week and worked on the trade deal while there. He also mentioned Asian trading partners and allies, including South Korea and Japan, as being very close. He was pressed on talks with China. Obviously, that remains the big question here, whether President Trump has had a conversation with President Xi over, the 145% tariff, this global trade or this trade war with China. And he wouldn't really give an answer there as to whether the two have talked, but he said he still believes that China will see that these tariffs are unsustainable for them, Liz.
All right, Natalie Brand, thank you so much, live for us outside the White House there.